In this session, we'll focus on creating a healthy mindset for sleep. So we'll look at what patterns of thinking might contribute to your sleep problems. And then I'll explain how changing your thinking about sleep can help you to break out of the cycle of insomnia. First, let's look at the cycle of insomnia. Insomnia can be understood as a vicious cycle of unhelpful thoughts about sleep, such as I must sleep now or I'll be really tired tomorrow, which can lead to emotions such as anxiety and frustration. And it can lead to physical symptoms, including the symptoms of hyperarousal, which is increased muscle tension, increased heart rate, breathing rate, body temperature, and unhelpful behaviours like watching the clock or tossing and turning. And all of these reactions leads to further wakefulness. In the previous module, we talked about the different actions that you can take to improve your sleep. And these are what you call behavioural strategies because it's changing what you do, your behaviour. In this module, we're going to focus on the cognitive side of things. That is, we'll look at the way that you think about sleep and especially the unhelpful thoughts that you might have that are counterproductive and put you in this vicious cycle. Changing your thinking about sleep is not easy, but there are some useful steps that you can follow to challenge unhelpful thoughts and to generate a more balanced way of thinking about sleep. And I'll take you through these steps now. The first step is to identify your current thinking patterns about sleep. So how do you do that? Well, first you need to know what a thought is. And how would you define what thoughts are? Well, thoughts are mental events that generally take the form of ideas, memories, opinions, images, or commentary about what's going on. Thoughts spontaneously come to mind and are mostly expressed in words and sentences, but can be expressed in images too. The US National Science Foundation estimated that up to 50,000 thoughts pass through your mind every day. Most of these thoughts are so automatic and spontaneous that we're hardly aware of them at all. So when we pay attention to thoughts, we can notice that firstly, there's the content or topic of the thought. And then secondly, there's the type of thought or modes of thinking, like planning mode or analysing, remembering, creating, ruminating, reflecting, judging, rehearsing, imagining, just to name a few. And this is the type of thinking that you're doing. So let's take a few minutes to watch and observe our thoughts as they arise in the mind. And as you observe them, with each different thought that arises, see if you can recognise firstly the content of your thought and the mode of thinking that you're in. So by observing thoughts in this way, it becomes easier to stay somewhat detached from the thought so that you're less likely to get pulled into thinking. But when you do get hooked in, which you will because it happens to us all, then as soon as you become aware that you're hooked into thinking, just come back to the task of noticing the content of the thought and what type of thinking it was. And then you can focus your attention back onto the breath for a while. And when you're ready, go back to watching thoughts. So that's just all part of the exercise. So when you're ready, please play the next recording.